So President Trump recently announced he's going to be sending a few thousand troops down to the border. Do you support sending troops down to the border? Yes or no? Okay, so 3 no's.
I feel like it's not justified.
Definitely disapprove.
Did you know that President Obama did the exact same thing when he was president?
Like,
media.
Honestly, I'm not super up to date with politics. I didn't know that, so.
Those were students commenting on troops being sent to the border, as you saw. What they didn't realize is that President Obama did that himself. Cabot Phillips is with us. He was the guy in the video right there, campusreform.org media director. So, now, those tapes are edited. How many kids did you interview?
It went on and on all afternoon. We found one student at the very end who said, well, I think it's a pretty good idea. It has President Obama did the same thing. President Bush did the same thing. One student did know. We included that at the end of the video. So kudos to them. But this is just a trend we see where students feel that they have to oppose anything that has the word President Trump associated with it. And they don't look at the policy. They just look at the name. And it's dangerous. They're not open-minded, and they know the answers that are expected of them. I think many students don't have a hard opinion on this one way or the other, but they know what they have to say. They know what's expected of them, or they know the repercussions that come against them if they don't bash President Trump.
That's right. I mean, the world comes down on you. If you stand up and speak your mind and you're in favor of what President Trump's doing, the world comes down on you. You'll be murdered on social media.
Yeah, and not just social media, in class. We see professors going after conservative students. We had a professor, you saw at Fresno State, calling out Barbara Bush, saying she was a murderess, racist, all of those things. And in class, students, losing points on their grade. I was at University of Charleston this past week, and I had students coming up to me saying, how do I know if it's okay to stand up in class or not? Because I see my friends losing points. I see them getting harassed in class by professors, made fun of. Is it worth it for me to stand up? That's the saddest thing you could hear on a college campus, when students are afraid of making their opinions known. That's the most sad thing you can hear. And again, it's bad for the future of our country when our next generation is incapable of learning to debate freely.
Absolutely.
And they're being taught that.
I think it's in part the fault of my generation. I'm a baby boomer. We were radicals in the 1960s, or some people were, and then those people moved into the universities and are running the universities.
Take note, everyone, Stuart Varney is taking the blame. This generation.
Well, do I have a point?
You do have a point. I think a lot of people love to bash millennials, Generation Z. You have a point, though. I think the blame lies with both sides. They don't just become that way. People are conditioned and taught. And again, when you coddle people, when you tell them, hey, your feelings are more important than logic and reason, they don't ever learn to be adults. And also, I think this is a result of identity politics.
Yes,
when you teach an entire generation, your opinions have to fall in line with whatever the consensus is for your skin color, your gender, your sexual orientation. People aren't taught to be individuals. They are taught you fall in line with what you're being taught and taught to believe, not how to think critically. And again, it is scary. I think the weight falls, or the blame falls on both generations.
It drives me nuts. Cabot Phillips, thanks very much indeed. And
Absolutely.
I paid the tuition for a great many college students.
I believe that.
Thank you.